의 주인공은
에버글로우 축하합니다.
That was so close. Hey everyone, my name's Han.
And my name's Cass.
And today we are finally reacting to Dodging Disbandment and Other Extreme Sports, A History of Dreamcatcher.
Yes, by Mara.
By Mara. Yes, a lot of you guys suggested this video. It's probably one of our most requested videos.
Like, definitely one of our most requested videos. Like, ever since we started reacting to Dreamcatcher, like, this has been coming up consistently.
100%. And we were a little bit worried about getting spoilers of the MVs and music from it. But we asked you guys over on Patreon if we should do it before the music videos, and a lot of you guys said it was worth it, even if we did get a little bit of spoilers.
Yeah, a lot of you guys were just like, this is like a need to like know Dreamcatcher, to like really understand them. So I'm really excited because like I'm excited to see the history of them, like how they came to be after Minx and all that. So
same.
Yeah.
Should we get into it?
Yeah.
But before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. Let's go watch.
Let's do it.
A quick disclaimer before we get into it, I do not have all the facts. And obviously, not every single detail is here. Every statistic used is readily available information for anyone who wants to find it. And as always, this video is not intended to point fingers at certain groups or artists, nor start any fan wars. Each and every one of the artists mentioned here is simply a part of understanding the story of Dreamcatcher. If you love Dreamcatcher more than anything, or you couldn't care less about them, wonderful, that's all cool. I just ask that you leave your opinions about the members, your opinions about the fandom, and your opinions about any other artists mentioned here out of your consideration for the video.
Okay.
I feel like this is about to get serious.
That was some like
that's a like hard disclaimer.
I feel like we're about to hear a lot of tea.
Yeah.
A lot of tea.
Holy.
Dreamcatcher has something of a wild story. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they may or may not be caught up in some cosmic duel between two ancient gods.
I mean,
one who wants
fair.
them to succeed, and one who wants to destroy them at all costs.
Jeez.
Dreamcatcher is a girl group under Happy Face Entertainment, and they've been around since 2014. Kind of.
Okay.
The group has released 6 mini albums of reasonable success. Kind of. And they achieved their first win in September of 2019. Kind of.
I
thought Days was their first win. Ooh, I'm intrigued.
They weren't even always Dreamcatcher. Over the years, the group has attracted a rather convoluted legacy. And when you look—
First of all, I just would like to like point out that this girl's voice sounds like the like someone who talks over like a very like dramatic TV show.
like
the main character when she's like talking about like what happened, like what happened. This is what happened before I died.
Yeah. No, it does sound like a narrator in like one of those shows. That's funny.
I kind of like it a lot.
And like I also feel like, I don't know, like it feels very investigative.
Yeah.
Like journalist. I like it.
Look at it all laid out, there's something about Dreamcatcher that seems to be constantly dodging out of the way of danger.
Okay.
While there have been some touch-and-go moments regarding failure or even disbandment, Dreamcatcher seems to be doing some serious gymnastics to keep themselves in the game. Let's go back in time.
Proud.
I'm
August
so proud.
9th, 2014. It all started in the summer of
That was literally like what you just said. August 9th, 2014.
I love
this
this.
next line, literally, I love it.
2014 at the Oak Valley Summertime Festival.
Okay.
It's nighttime and the stage is dark.
All right.
Overhead, the intercom announces
I love
the
this
next
story.
performance.
This is so dramatic. I'm
Lights
so
up.
here for it.
5 girls in what can only be described as pure 2014 fashion take the stage under the name
This looks
Minx.
exactly like
They perform 3 songs,
2014,
all singing,
yeah.
dancing, and smiling at the audience. They laugh, they wave, they joke around with the audience, and everyone seems to be having a good time. And there they go.
the
off into
short shirt
evening.
and bright
September 15th,
shirts are
2014.
so emblematic of like
About a month
2014
later,
and
a company known as
2015.
Happy Face Entertainment announced that that's their new girl group, and they're set to debut that fall. Happy Face has had a decent number of different names, but for the ease of the story, I'll be referring to them as Happy Face Entertainment or just Happy Face.
That's
A couple
good.
of things to know about them before we get into the goods. Happy Face is not the richest company, but they're very much average.
Oh, okay.
Not
I
as much as
assumed they were
Woolin or
small.
Stone, but they have enough money to give their artists comebacks and promotion when the board meetings say the omens are right. Happy Face was—
I'm not gonna lie, I always had this assumption about Happy Face that they were kind of like struggling as a small company. So that's really interesting information to get, and I'm glad that we got that. So far, I'm like
founded by
intrigued.
a production duo called E-Tribe. You may recognize them as the producers of a little song called G.
Hello?
Happy Face aren't tiny, they aren't massive. Now back to the story.
That they made G?
18th, 2014.
No one can argue that the song's good.
No, honestly, they're catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Minx debuted as a 5-member girl group with their song "Why Did You Come to My Home." The song was pop influenced.
Now, this
by
is what I'm
hip-hop,
interested,
and the
like,
music
why
video
did
followed
it
a pretty standard
fail
2014
so much?
concept,
Yeah.
complete with the shorts and sweaters combo and thigh-high socks. Oh, and the random shots of girls in packaging.
Like
Remember
Orange
when that was
Caramel?
a thing?
Oh!
The group promoted their debut for over a month, finishing off in late October. Right now, Minx looked like a proper mid-2010s girl group, a Baby Girls Day or Sistar.
Yeah.
They debuted with some pretty intense competition, including but not limited to Berry Good, La Boom, Mamamoo, Lovelies, and Red Velvet.
That is
The song
seriously
didn't
tough
have a
competition.
mini-album,
Yeah, it's
which
rough.
may or may not have been
Red
the
Velvet
bestest
and
idea
Mamamoo.
ever, as the
Ugh.
song didn't quite manage to chart during the quarter. But being a debut, there was room to grow, and maybe fortune would favor the bold. July 1st,
I mean, yeah, it was a
2015.
good debut song.
Or maybe not. 10 months later, Minx released
months?
their first mini-album,
That's
Love
really
Shake,
long.
in
That
July
is
of
so
2015.
long.
The song and music video were all about summer romance, and the
That
whole
seems
thing
like-
resembled an appeal to the
Pause.
many
Was there?
cutesy-
I forgot. Was there an EP with the debut? Maybe.
I-
I think so.
I don't know. Didn't she just say first mini album?
Or did she say first radio? I don't know. If that was just a solo song, then 10 months later,
That's like people
That's pretty
forgot
rough,
about
yeah.
them. Probably that's
the innocent
really rough.
concepts of summer girls looking for love. Now, we've talked about the 2015 scene before, but let's take another look at it. Oh My Girl debuted, Twice debuted, Red Velvet released their first full album,
Oh,
Girls'
gosh.
Generation released Lionheart. Both musically and visually, Love Shake didn't stick out from the pack. The
It's
whole
such
thing was
hard
described
competition.
as a
Love
red
Shake almost looks like a little outdated for 2015,
Mhm.
if I'm gonna be honest. Like now that I know that, I'm like, okay, that kind of looks more like the 2014 time.
Yeah.
So that's tough competition to go
Mhm.
against.
ocean, meaning that there was absolutely no space for a concept
Yeah.
like Minx's to stick out with everyone else in the industry. What Happy
It's
Face
pretty
really
just, like,
wouldn't want right now is one of the most
Yeah.
powerful groups in romance and dance genres to debut within 20 days of this comeback.
Oh no,
not G-Friend.
not G-Friend.
Retrospect, I've never listened to a G-Friend song.
They were really
So
but I
popular.
do know
One
G-Friend
of
was
the most
popular.
They were
powerful debuts of the
very
year
popular.
occurred in the same month. Let's talk
In the
numbers.
same month?
Eliminating the outliers,
Oh,
the
no.
average sale count for a girl group debut album in 2014 was around 3,780. In 2015, the average was roughly 5,060, with outliers eliminated. Minx's debut mini-album, Love Shake, made under 2,000 sales. That's under average for both 2015 and 2014. Not the worst, but not the
Kind of
best.
mid.
Yeah,
Now, for a lot of
kinda
groups,
mid.
this is unfortunately a symbol of doom. It's
Mm.
much harder to keep yourself afloat without some form of album
True.
unless you're a big three group.
Yeah.
By splitting off their first song from their first album by nearly a year,
That was rough.
it
That-
looked like
that is
Minx's
really
debut project might have caved in on itself.
Yeah.
But the team over at Happy Face Entertainment had kind of an unconventional idea. In November of 2016, Happy Face announced that the group was going to re-debut under a new name. Happy Face pulled Minx from the shelf and got to work.
So when we get
New
Dreamcatcher,
production design, new imagery, new sound, an entirely new instrument team was brought in. Super Bomb was brought in to produce new songs. 2 new members, Gahyun and Hundong, were added to the lineup.
love them.
2 months after the announcement was made,
2 months?
Only 2
2
months?
months after that announcement?
I think I saw a comment that said Hendong and Gayan were only like training for 2 months.
Oh man.
So, like-
well, I wonder if they were training a little bit beforehand.
I don't
before
know.
The
I
announcement
would like-
happened,
I would
or
like to
if
know
the
that.
training literally started when the announcement
Yeah.
happened. I'm curious. I hope that she says.
Yeah, I wonder like after they decided to like shelve Minx, like did they already have those 2
That's what
members
I'm
like
wondering.
ready,
Like,
or
were they
like
like training with the company,
Yeah.
or did they like be like, okay, we need to add a few members? I'm intrigued. Taste Me's a bop though. So different from Minx.
so
though.
it's like freaking
the
180.
artist
literally
formerly
night
known
and
as
day.
Minx debuted on January 13th, 2017.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting
They were
timeline.
The 2010's cheerleaders of 2014 or the summer sweethearts of
2017 is
2015.
interesting.
They were Dreamcatcher,
because it's like
a group drenched
end
in
of
horror
third
and
gen.
elegance with a rather Victorian spin on the supernatural. Main vocalist Xian described their new music as a style that takes inspiration from metal and rock, especially J-rock,
I see the
and
J-rock
mixes some of their
inspo.
elements with a core of pop inspired by the mainstream.
Okay.
Happy Face themselves described the music as pop rock and rock-flavored girl pop. They debuted with the song Chase Me, and people immediately noticed the creativity of the group's hard-hitting style.
It was very
and
creative.
old-world
It's
style
very
fashion.
different.
The group was establishing an anthology where each girl
It's
represented
so interesting because it's like they went from probably people being like, oh, they don't stand out.
Yeah.
The video looks like everyone else's, to being like, okay, this band is completely different from
Yeah.
everyone else. This is super creative, super
It was
different.
such a good idea.
It really, honestly, I think it was very smart.
I mean, definitely good from Happy Face.
I
to,
mean,
like, do
yeah.
something like this. Like the amount of bands that just fail
And then just
because-
give up. Yeah. No, this is awesome. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
Learning a
different
lot.
nightmare. They weren't coming to you. As stated in their debut, you were coming to them.
Okay.
Dreamcatcher's debut single album, Nightmare, sold nearly twice as many copies as Love Shake,
as many?
and Dreamcatcher debuted at number 20
Number
on the Down
20?
album chart.
Okay, that's
Remember
actually
when we talked about fortune favoring the bold? This was bold.
It was bold.
So bold that members of the groups themselves worried about the debut completely falling apart. However, it seemed the new style was just what the group needed to break through the waves of the market and start getting their name out there. That's taking New Year, New Me to a whole different level.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
In
say
April, Dreamcatcher-
yeah. I couldn't imagine like being them and being like knowing their concept and then switching like always this 180 concept. Like they don't know what's gonna happen when they
they don't. It's a risk.
they throw that song out. Like
It's a risk. But if you think about it, sorry, I was interrupting you.
no, that's okay. I was just saying like they didn't know how anyone was going to take it. That's like they were like yeah they weren't like doing that great as Minx, but like that's got to be like so nerve wracking.
I mean, in all honesty, like Minx was probably just gonna disband.
Mm.
So at least like Happy Face was like, instead of disbanding,
Yeah.
since like your debut was kind of a flop, it didn't do well compared to the other bands at the time, then let's just debut as a new band, add a few members. Like at least like they're getting a second chance, instead of wasting like all of their training time and stuff.
Dreamcatcher came back with Good Night and their second single album, Fall Asleep in the Mirror.
I'm so excited to
Once
listen to
again,
more.
They were present with their metal and J-rock inspired sound and a creepy music video continuing the story of their last one, where they finally hopped on the good foot and killed that guy.
Oh, okay.
Now all
Spoiler,
they
but
really
that's
needed
fine.
was a debut mini album, preferably without the 10-month wait in between.
Yeah.
At this
Yes.
point, it had already been around 4 months.
No, come
Then
on.
5,
Don't do it
why
again.
are you guys
Don't do it
so-
again. No.
Then
Okay.
That made me really nervous, I gotta tell you. It's still kind of long, I think.
got it in just before 7. Dreamcatcher's first ever EP, titled Prequel, hit on July 27th with the A-track Fly High. Prequel hit
I
like a
cannot
grenade,
wait to watch
peaking
these
at 4 in Korea and
music
selling over
videos.
11,000
Yeah.
copies. Remember what 2017 was?
Fly
for the
High's
industry at
the one
time?
that's the
Coming
prequel to
back
the
wasn't
Nightmare
just about
ones,
returning
right?
to End Countdown or Music Bag. No, no,
It
no.
could be.
It was about getting on the damn plane and getting yourself a ticket to the Western music market.
Okay.
Boom. The album hit top 5 on the Billboard.
That was
Global
awesome
Charts and
editing.
went number 1 on the US iTunes K-pop chart.
That.
iTunes was still a thing at this point.
They go crazy.
Well, now I'm curious if I've actually heard that song. I'm really excited to see if
Yeah.
I have, because like maybe I have,
Mhm.
and I just don't remember. Ooh, okay,
If you're wondering, all in all, it was a pretty successful comeback.
that's awesome for
No, the
them.
girls weren't doing G-Friend numbers or anywhere near the top 3, but the album performed well enough that in August, Happy Face announced that Dreamcatcher was getting a world tour.
A world tour.
October
That's
2017?
That's
Let's
kinda
go.
early.
Dreamcatcher had promoted almost
I
exclusively
love
as
it.
one unit since debut, likely to cement the theme of permanence and dedication to the new group
Love
project
that.
after the loss of
Yeah.
Minx. It had been important during those first few years for them to appear as one
said,
solid
"This
team that
debut's
wouldn't
gonna
crack
work."
under the pressure of a demanding market. But now, with a slightly more stable grip on their group identity, they would need to flesh out their public images as individuals.
Okay.
Up until now, Dreamcatcher had largely stayed within their own bubble. In early October, Happy Face announced that Dreamcatcher and other Happy Face entertainment artists such as D-Once and trainee group HNB would be joining the ranks of Mix 9, a survival show created and owned by YG Entertainment. The goal was to promote the group on widespread television,
Mix 9 was YG.
show off different sides of
I've
the
never
group,
watched it.
and most importantly, give the public a taste of what Dreamcatcher members were like
Actually,
as
really
individuals.
I want to watch
Mix 9 was a
that.
sandbox for idols of various companies to show off not only their physical skills, visuals, and overall idol appeals, but also start promoting their
Them
own
getting on Mix
personalities.
9
One of the
probably.
key necessities to longevity
was really
in
good
the
for them.
industry is personal attachment. Much of the K-pop industry is designed to sell fans an idol, a person to get attached to.
Yeah.
For a group like Dreamcatcher, advertising your own personalities is crucial to drawing in fans who might
And they
not
have
know
great
or otherwise hear
personalities.
Yeah.
their music.
So
Fans are more likely to support a group they feel personally connected to and involved
Exactly.
with.
very,
Exactly.
very
This is
true.
extremely notable about girl groups in particular,
Definitely
which
more
can sound pretty
important for
Machiavellian,
girl
but that's
groups.
Yeah.
another can of worms. What it meant for Dreamcatcher was that the fans who enjoyed the group at large and the potential fans in the making could see the members' personalities and become more attached to them.
Yep.
It would give Dreamcatcher 7 more selling points. On top of that, a show like Mix 9 would, in theory, contribute to the message that
I'm feeling like it didn't go well, and I'm a little nervous.
The market. By getting together idols from all over the industry to mingle with, compete against, and befriend each other, Mix 9 would, again, in theory, allow the members of Dreamcatcher to announce themselves as integrated players within the business, true competitors with skin in the game. Mix 9, like the produced series, was a unique space for seeing idols outside of their own groups and allowing fans to get to know Dreamcatcher through groups they already loved. It appealed to many fans to see their idols friends with other idols, and it was helpful for idols to hone their promotion skills with other professionals. The show began in late October, and 4 members of Dreamcatcher, Jiyu, Shihyun, Yuhyun, and Dami, were there to compete against 94 other female idols.
Golly.
Talent-wise, it actually went pretty well. The members were recognized for their skills and development, each one receiving a rank of B.
Great!
Out of 98 female participants, Yuhyun ranked in the top 9 during the showcase section, and Jiyu ranked at number 4 in episode 4 and number 7 in episode 5.
That's all right, girl. Let's go.
There were some great performances and some rather awesome moments from both the members of Dreamcatcher
I'm
and
getting
the other
so
idols they were
nervous.
working with.
Hey, girl. Get it?
Get it?
Win or lose, joining Mix 9 would only serve to help Dreamcatcher,
Yeah.
as long as everything went according to
Yeah,
plan.
okay. What didn't go according to plan? Please.
Well, about that.
No
The
shot.
tension.
About 3/4 of the way into the show, Dreamcatcher's activities in Mix 9 came
Why?
to a sudden halt.
Why?
Practically out of nowhere, Dreamcatcher packed up their stuff and never returned.
That doesn't look
Happy
great.
Face released a statement saying they were officially pulling
Why,
Dreamcatcher
though?
from the show, and instead, the 4 girls would rejoin the other members and participate in a tour through Brazil. It was a mixed bag, to say the least. While a tour would certainly bring in more money, there was a
little
gold
weird,
mine of
bad for
potential
PR.
publicity to be found in Mix 9. The members had accumulated decent rankings, and presumably the other industry benefits of joining Mix 9 would have strengthened as the competition continued. With just 6 episodes left, the decision seemed dicey.
Very odd decision.
Until, well, I don't even need to tell you, do I?
So what?
So I guess good thing they pulled out.
Happy Face be knowing something that no one else knew.
Guess so.
Mix 9 flatlined.
Yo,
Everything
but like honestly,
Happy
I think Happy Face had some inside info
What
because
the
the
heck?
way that they pulled them out. I mean, they would have done the show for PR. That's why those shows exist.
Yeah.
They had to have known something.
Yo, I think Happy Face knows a lot
I
about the
think so
industry.
too.
And,
I
like,
think
in,
they're
so far, they've been making pretty good decisions. Like,
other than the 10-month waiting period between their
Yeah.
and Binks' debut.
used to that.
That was a little,
went kaput. Upon finishing its run in
Interesting.
December and announcing the winning group for debut, YG Entertainment canceled the entire
YG,
project.
why?
Money went down the drain. Months of time spent was now wasted. And
Something
YG
must have
stuff
happened
completely
in the
crashed.
background.
The
Yep.
companies and idols involved were screwed to high hell.
That's really
For all
rough.
intents and purposes, Dreamcatcher had basically sailed off the island just before the volcano.
Let's go.
I'm really curious if they knew something.
I wonder. I have this is a theory. I wonder if they just wanted their group in there for a while and were never wanted them to actually get to the end.
I'm curious because I think that one thing about those shows
Mhm.
is that it kind of does separate members for a little bit from the group they're in,
Yeah.
which can be kind of a mixed bag
Yeah.
in the way that it could potentially affect the group.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
maybe that's all it
Mhm.
was, and they were like, "Let's get a little bit of PR, let's do well in the beginning, and then let's leave."
I don't know. That was just a little,
Just a
little thought.
Little thought. The Game of Thrones reference.
Now, it's true there's no way Happy Face could have foreseen this. In fact, the idol who ranked highest in the entire show was Woo Jin-young, and 3 guesses what company he came from. It can't be stated enough how damaging the failure of Mix 9 was
then
to
maybe
its
they didn't have
participants.
insider knowledge.
Happy Face themselves proceeded to file a lawsuit against YG Entertainment for 10 million won. Later, Happy Face started to reveal a fuck ton of the underhanded actions done by YG during the course of the show, including but not limited to YG unfairly extended contracts management period from 4 months to 3 years, which is extremely dangerous to smaller companies.
Yeah.
They coerced Happy Face and their artists into agreeing to the new terms under the threat of cancellation, refused to fulfill their side of the agreements by covering fees such as transportation, clothing, clothes, and so on, and refused to pay any of the money that was owed to Happy Face for use of songs, trainees, and other material.
Hey, gee, what the?
Happy Face described the entire process as the overuse of power by a large entertainment agency with strong influence. Happy Face said this of the lawsuit: "More than to be compensated for all the damages we have received, this is a symbolic amount filed in our hopes that Korean popular culture will progress healthily without the overuse of power by large companies." In early 2019, we would find out that Happy Face withdrew this lawsuit, and there is definitely some speculation about what went down behind closed doors.
Probably got their money on it.
Regardless, it was a disaster. Now let's get back to Dreamcatcher.
Interesting.
In all honesty, it seemed that Dreamcatcher had miraculously dodged a bullet and were promoting their music internationally with the Fly High World Tour.
So bad.
By the power
That's
of
like
sheer
so
dumb
lucky.
luck, Dreamcatcher were out promoting in the world.
That
And
is
by the
so
end of the year,
lucky.
the world was starting to pay attention. Chase Me was
Dude,
included in
What fate was working for them in that moment? Because that could have killed the band. Like, that could have been their end.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is so
Billboard's
lucky.
Best K-pop Songs of 2017 at number 19.
Dang.
Found number 3 for Billboard's Best New K-pop acts. Things were starting to look up. And with that, the year wrapped.
Okay.
Kicking off 2018, Dreamcatcher celebrated their first anniversary with a fan meet.
Yeah.
All 400 tickets sold out within minutes.
That's right.
While
So they got a
Dreamcatcher
fan
may
base
have not been
already.
the biggest group in the world, their work in the past year had started to bring
Okay,
in
cool.
dedicated
That's
fans.
important. Dedicated
Celebration
fans make
included
a
What is
band.
zombie?
material, new
Oh my god.
faces,
Oh my
and
god.
release of their
This
fan
outfit is so
dedicated single,
cute.
Full Moon.
Oh my god.
There was also an announcement of a March comeback.
Okay.
Time passed, they wrapped up their tour activities, and March arrived. They released their official name for the fan base, but no comeback. The month went on, no comeback.
Wait, why?
March ended, April began, and still no comeback. Eventually, Happy Face announced that the album had been
I
delayed.
mean,
and
it's
fan-
not uncommon for comebacks to get pushed back. It happens sometimes, but to get pushed back like a whole month and then to delay the album, that's
I
like...
think they definitely should have told people it was going to be delayed earlier.
Yes.
Fans were starting to get antsy. Dreamcatcher did not have a good history regarding album delays, and the last thing anyone wanted was a re-debut.
Yeah.
April closed out with no sign of
Oh my
Dreamcatcher.
gosh.
Moving into May, Happy Face was utterly vacant. None of the members were making announcements, and the radio silence was starting to scare people.
Yeah,
What
for
the
good
hell
reason.
was going on? Finally, something
Especially
gave way.
since they were doing well.
Yeah.
That's like,
It's
fans
really
are really
odd.
like, what happened? Like, you got a fan base, where's the comeback? Like, that's...
Yeah.
I'd
An
be
official
scared as a
announcement
fan.
told the fans that Dreamcatcher were named ambassadors for Microsoft's blockchain security technology. And everyone said,
Where's the album? We want the album.
hey, what? Come on, this isn't a comeback. Where's I thought we were getting it.
Well, that's good. Oh, I'm excited.
Wait, this song, I like this one.
This one looks good.
Was it worth it? The time? I feel like it.
Probably.
And then
I
Dreamcatcher
mean-
dropped You and I. On May 10th, Dreamcatcher released their
May,
second album,
okay.
Escape
Two
the Era.
months late,
6
but that's
songs,
not
a budget
that
update,
bad.
and a hit on the charts. The comeback peaked at number 3 on the Gaon chart and debuted at number 7 on Billboard.
They're
World.
doing
They're doing
well.
The
so
comeback
well.
centered around their iconic sound while also playing well to industry interests. The styling, choreography, and album maintain
God.
unique traits while also imbuing them with elements of girl crush and EDM.
Yeah,
2 of the hottest
crush.
dishes on the table at the moment. The comeback sparked heat in the industry, and the fanbase expanded into the mainstream.
Okay.
This was a good sign, because despite the touring projects Dreamcatcher had done the past year, they had yet to solidify a foothold across the ocean. You and I didn't draw blood in just the Korean market. Suddenly, the international fanbase was stoked from the embers.
Yeah.
As Dreamcatcher rose from the ranks of cult favorite to commercial success.
I love that.
It was looking more and more like You and I was going to be the song that solidified Dreamcatcher.
Yeah,
for good.
okay, so this video is surprising me in some ways because I always had this idea of Dreamcatcher that they were
Small.
that they did well in the American market before they did well in Korea, and then Korea kind of followed.
Oh.
But this has proven to me that that was pure speculation. I didn't get that from anywhere. I just assumed that.
Mhm.
That's very interesting to me that it did actually take longer in America because I feel like they have a very strong global fan base now.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
They had a really good week. And when I say a week, I
Wait,
do
what
mean
happened?
a week. For a full 7 days, it was Dreamcatcher's world. They received their first ever nomination for a win with You and I, and then...
Oh no!
Not fake love, bro.
Oh, and that's gonna steal the global market too.
The stole the global market?
No. That did so well globally. Oh no, Dreamcatcher.
That's rough.
That is really rough.
To be fair, it didn't matter who you were
Yeah.
shunted out the door
Everyone
when
was.
Love Yourself to Your drop.
Everyone was.
Popularity disparity. Now we're gonna hit some confusion in the storyline.
Okay.
Sensing the growth of their popularity, the group went into something of a frenzy. Riding the high of You and I, they released a third mini-album in September as part of their What comeback.
Okay. Ooh.
Ooh. This song sounds good.
The
never-
day in which I could just listen to every single song
Can't wait.
over and over again.
I can't
I cannot wait.
We've just been listening to only the songs we reacted to,
Mhm.
and it's painful. I just want to hear the other songs, but I have to hold back, and it's just so hard. It's so hard.
And officially broke the 30,000 sales mark for a mini-album.
Okay.
The album charted at number 2,
Ooh.
which remains their highest position of
Let's
all
go.
time as of the making of this
Good
video.
for them.
They had a Japanese debut, and while they
This
were
is
met with some
smart.
initial success,
See how
the
it
activities
came
of the
faster,
band
this
remained
comeback.
largely unrealized.
And it worked.
2019. Regardless, they had another comeback on February 13th of 2019 with The End of Nightmare, and its single
That music video
Tears.
looks scary.
Dummy, your hair.
Yo, I'm so excited to watch these.
Now wait.
I believe this is when Happy Face rebranded as Dreamcatcher Company, but some
Okay.
sources also say that it was a sub-label known as Dreamcatcher Company.
Okay.
Bless their hearts, I have no idea what they put in the water at Happy Face. And then off they went on yet another tour.
Shady.
Things start to get Shakespearean, and I mean that in the bucket loads of pathetic fallacy way.
Oh, you
They
mean-
know pathetic fallacy has nothing to do with the word pathetic, meaning desperate or depressing. Rather, everywhere Dreamcatcher went,
No,
things started to
wait,
go
no.
wrong. Their concert in Jakarta
No.
was completely shut down for reasons that were
No.
never explained. There were scheduling conflicts and issues with tickets, and one of the theaters caught
What the-
fire and burned down.
Hello?
Everything was going pear-shaped. After the tour, more Japanese promotions were released, but they went nowhere. In hopes of reigniting fan morale, the group opened applications for their official fan club that summer, but even then, little news came out of it and the whole affair slipped under the waves.
Wait, what?
While Dreamcatcher seemed to be anywhere
No, they
and
have
everywhere,
like
and their
all
comebacks
the
were
luck
reaching
and
decent
no
upfront
luck
numbers,
at the same
there
Yeah.
was
time.
something off about their success. No matter how frequent the comebacks or how long the tours, Dreamcatcher couldn't seem to create a sense of longevity. The spaghetti wasn't sticking to the wall, and after a few weeks of initial success, Dreamcatcher's prominence would fade and take a backseat to everyone else in the industry. Entirely on reappearance power, but in the grand scheme of things, it seemed that not many people outside the immediate fandom would notice that they went silent. Dreamcatcher's streak of good luck had short-circuited, and the members were rightfully exhausted. It was time to take a break, get some air, and come back when everyone was good and ready. In the meantime, Happy Face did what they do best.
What do they do?
Something
What
unconventional.
they do?
Happy Face started having board meetings with Vespa, an indie game developing company based in South Korea.
Hello. Yes, handshake. A handshake for you.
I like your tie.
I'm not wearing a tie. Have a handshake.
I heard the food would be provided.
I lied. Hello.
Your hands are very warm.
What if we kill one of the members and have her come back from the dead?
So here's my idea. Give Chi-Yu a big fucking sword.
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant.
I was thinking the same thing.
Fantastic.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Match made in heaven. On
I don't know what
September
just happened
18th,
at
we finally
all.
saw what all those board meetings have been about. Deja Vu was
I will
I've
say,
never been more excited for a song.
I'm very excited. I will say this video has a little bit more spoilers than I expected.
Yeah.
But if anything, it got me more excited for
Yeah.
the music videos.
I do understand why we're supposed to be watching it now though, because
it's gonna,
like
yeah.
it's like it will, like, every time we watch something, we'll have like some backstory
And
or
we'll
like
know like
yeah,
what
yeah.
period they were in.
Yeah.
As if we were like kind of getting into them while they were coming
Yeah.
out. We'd have an idea of
Mhm.
what was happening
Yeah.
at the time. So I do like that we watched it. I do. Even if there's a little bit of spoilers, but it's still good.
Unlike
Excited
anything
for that.
Dreamcatcher had done before, the comeback was a collaboration with Vespa's mobile game King's Raid,
Oh.
which contributed to the expensive and dramatic visuals in the music video.
Okay, awesome.
That usual Dreamcatcher core was now combined with an emotional ballad, and it
Oh.
gave them their first charting song in the K-pop Hot 100.
Oh.
The album Rate of Dream hit number 3 and became their highest-selling album of all time.
I love the
There was
sword.
still one milestone that Dreamcatcher and their fandom had yet to crack: a first win on a music show. They'd come close in the past year, but hadn't quite managed to snag one. With the emerging success of Deja Vu, they might have their shot. Deja Vu was nominated for a win by SBS's music show, The Show, and many fans crossed their fingers in hopes that Dreamcatcher would take home their first win. That night,
먼저 사전에 집계된 음원 점수입니다.
동영상과 전문가 팬 사전 투표 점수입니다.
여기에 생방송 중 집계된 실시간 앱 투표 점수를 합친 결과 더스 초이스의 주인공은
에버글로우 축하합니다.
That was so close.
the winner of the night was Everglow, taking home their first ever win.
I do remember Everglow popping off during this time, to be fair.
I'm gonna label this entire section
Okay.
alleged. There are details that can't be confirmed about
Okay.
certain parts of this issue, and there's so many different parts to what happened, and a lot of it is loosely translated from
Okay.
Korean into
Okay.
English. I encourage you to do your own research
I
and
will.
come to your own conclusions. Anyway, on to what happened as best as I could research. Just a little while after the show announced its winner, fans and non-fans of Dreamcatcher began speaking out against the final scores, claiming miscalculation and even fraudulent behavior.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of controversy surrounding these numbers here.
Okay.
After the controversy gained some traction, a few fans started to claim that these numbers were already confirmed accurate and that the controversy was based on lies. As of now, there is absolutely no confirmation on any website in any language from any source that these numbers are accurate. Yes, if you add these numbers straight down, you do get 7,861 and 7,850. However, the addition of these numbers isn't what the outrage was about.
Okay.
It's that these numbers allegedly should have never existed like this to begin with, and that the calculation that was done to create them was fudged.
Okay.
So what went wrong? I'm basically going to be summarizing several articles that broke down the calculation process, the faulty results, and why people were saying it could have been intentional skewing.
Okay.
All of this information is readily accessible. I encourage you to look at them. One of the primary articles I'm looking at is this one by XDoubleStar, who, while not a website I'm deeply familiar with, provided a decent amount of verifiable information. I'm going to be paraphrasing a lot from them. Credit to the breakdown goes to XDoubleStar.
Love the credit.
Basically, row 2 is where fans claim things went
Okay.
wrong. According to XDoubleStar, we can establish beyond reasonable doubt that wrongdoing took place. Basically, 3 major things happened here. The first is that several points were shaved off of Dreamcatcher's YouTube score. Here is the viewer board of the show. Based on the show's own data, the score Dreamcatcher should have received was 1,472 points, higher than what they were actually given.
Okay.
Which means the show had data that gave one result, and yet somehow another number showed up. But the second thing happened in the category Expert Preferences. What is Expert Preferences? It's basically a category where the broadcast can award points to groups based on what they claim are preferences of experts. But this
Interesting.
category has long been disputed by practically every fandom in the industry and even some companies, and is largely considered a place where shows just skew points to favor certain groups.
That's not.
In this episode of the show, CLC and Everglow both received full scores of 1,500 points for
Wait,
expert preference.
what?
And Dreamcatcher just casually got 0?
Which came as
Okay.
a shock to some people. But even with a 0, Dreamcatcher still would have won. In order for Dreamcatcher to receive the lower final score that they did, the experts had to have given them less than the minimum amount of 0 and then masked it by announcing 0. Here's how that works. And again, these are all just claims as far as I know. Let's say that all the other data the show published in this section, except for expert preferences, was completely accurate. Now, let's remember that the minimum score for expert preference is apparently 0. When you calculate the full score giving Dreamcatcher an absolute 0 in expert preferences, their final score for this section is 1,972 points. But the final score that the show released for Dreamcatcher was 1,850, 122 points below the possible minimum score. How did the show give them a score over 100 points below the minimum? Fans are saying that they gave Dreamcatcher negative points in this category. Allegedly, Dreamcatcher was given negative points in a category where you can't get negative points, which would mean that their score was deliberately subtracted. Dreamcatcher would have been given a false score on behalf of the show. And if these weren't simple computer errors, this would be cheating. Several fans and non-fans alike recalculated the scores using the minimum possible of 1,472 points, and based on the results, even if Dreamcatcher had scored an actual 0 in expert preference, which again is absurd to begin with, they still would have beaten Everglow for first place. This
What
led many fans to
happened?
conclude that the show fudged Dreamcatcher's score and even subtracted points from it so that they could edge them in just under Everglow. If this is what happened, subtracting points from a group's score is tampering with a group's ability to win, and that directly impacts a group's success in the industry. So it's not really a surprise that some fans were disappointed and untrustworthy after the strange results were posted. Now, it's time to remember that this is not, under any circumstances, Everglow's fault. Everglow as a group had absolutely nothing to do with the way the show's scores were calculated. And no one can deny that they are a monster rookie group with tons of support.
Everglow did great,
In the end, this is just as much a blow to Everglow as it is to Dreamcatcher.
No, honestly,
Everglow-
like, this is not good press for Everglow either. Like, the idea that their first win might have been skewed by the show, like, that's not good for them either. So I definitely, like, it's, like, just as bad for both of them.
I wonder, like, I know, like, people said that this is older. I wonder if, like, it's ever been proved or anything.
I actually do want to kind of look into it. Because, some people said, like, some of the information in this is a little outdated. Because I don't actually know when this came out. I think it was 2020.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see if we have more information about this. But now I understand why they just got their first win.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Extremely hard to get
I mean,
rid
not
of, and the
cool.
last thing they'd want is a fraudulent first win, especially regarding all the heated tensions around rigging right now. And of course, this is not the first time a music show has given a win to the wrong group. In May of 2016, KBS's Music Bank gave first place to AOA for Good Luck, when the actual win belonged to Twice for Cheer Up. In May of 2019, Mnet's M Countdown gave first place to New East for Bet Bet, when the win really belonged to Oh My Girl for the 5th season.
Oh my god.
Something about the month of May apparently throws everyone's math skills out
I guess.
the window. The difference, of course, is that these shows both made official and public announcements about the mistakes and corrected the math, as well as the true holder of the win.
Which you would think is what would
As of the
happen.
making of this video, SBS and the show have made no such announcement.
Interesting.
In fact, the only acknowledgement the show gave to the controversy were public tweets that seemed to passive-aggressively mock the group and the fans for the loss of the first win.
Hello?
And that was that for 2019.
I need to look into that. I'm curious about that.
I might like Dreamcatcher.
So what's up with Dreamcatcher now? Based on sheer numbers alone, Dreamcatcher is a decently successful group. Their continued sales presence puts them just under Lovelyz, AOA, and Idol. Given their commercial sales and consistent comeback rate, I feel comfortable saying that they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
I feel like they're
It could be
above
that this
some of those groups
underrated
now.
narrative
I think
comes from a lack
maybe.
of blockbuster success internationally or top 3 status, and as such causes them to fall into the
I don't know,
shadows in the eyes
actually.
of many international.
I know I've never listened to
It
Lovelyz
could
or
also be,
AOA
this
before,
is my
so.
personal hypothesis,
Yeah, I don't think they're...
that many of the struggles Dreamcatcher has gone through point out a distinct attempt by shadier parts of the industry to
Maybe I do
stifle the
though,
growth of an
because it looks like
unconventional
they're pretty
The
big.
industry thrives on convention, unfortunately, and deviations from the norm are often denied, sabotaged, or shut down entirely.
Kind of true.
And yet, despite all that,
It's interesting because you'll notice that like a lot of there's kind of like trends that come around in K-pop, and a lot of bands will kind of follow those trends, and like a lot of music will kind of be similar for like certain years or certain like spring comebacks versus summer comebacks. Sometimes like, you know, a lot of groups will do similar things. So it's interesting to me that Dreamcatcher is able to have success while kind of not going along those trends and doing their own creative thing. It's very interesting.
Like the more they do it, they're at some point, like I know it is working. I feel like now because they finally won their first show.
Yeah.
But like at some point, like deviating from the norm actually could work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Like they're like I feel like more groups are gonna look up to them and be like, oh, what should like we should do like the Dreamcatcher stuff.
Exactly.
Style. Which I feel like I don't know if like that's like the reason why we are getting more groups like Pixie and like Purple Kiss and stuff like that.
There's definitely more of a rock influence in K-pop at the moment, and I'm wondering where that trend comes
I mean, I have
from.
to assume it comes from Dreamcatcher, seeing as people when we watch Pixie and watch Purple Kiss, they're like, oh, you have to watch Dreamcatcher. Like they're like OGs, like they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm like curious if they have had somewhat of an influence on this kind of emerging sound.
I'm
from
glad.
some groups.
Glad that they're able
I mean,
to like.
I love the rock sound. So
We should finish this up a little bit. It's only like 50 seconds.
gosh, it
alive
is.
to today. Dreamcatcher are something of an utter fascination. Ever since they first appeared as Minx, they have been doing some serious parkour to keep in the game. Rolling, flipping, and flat out vaulting over Disbandment like they're in the goddamn Olympics.
But like, good for
It's
them
pretty
for
damn impressive,
continuing.
I
I
think.
love it.
Yeah.
So here's to you, Dreamcatcher. Right now, you might be K-pop's Leonardo DiCaprio, but you are by far some of the most unkillable girls in the game. Though I still have questions as to what you did to that one guy. Dreamcatcher have announced a Japanese comeback this upcoming March, and let's hope that both means actual March and more success in Japan. Go get 'em, girls. That's all from me this time.
Yo, I want
Best of
a
luck to
new one, an
Dreamcatcher, and I'll
updated
catch you guys
version.
later.
Want to know what happened after this?
Wow. Honestly, as I said, like as we talked about in just watching, that like I'm really glad we did watch this. Like at first,
I am too.
Like,
I
I
am
was
too.
a little nervous to watch it because I was like, I'm gonna get spoilers, which we did get a little bit, but I
No,
definitely
yeah.
think everyone was correct in the way that it's worth it.
I agree, because now I'm going in with kind of an idea,
Mhm.
and also like this only goes up to a certain point.
Yeah.
We're still gonna have music videos that came out after this
Yeah.
point. I will say I'm very intrigued by their growth. As stated in this video, it kind of reminds me of BTS. In the beginning, they strayed from the normal lot and they
I was gonna say
struggled,
that.
and then they kind of have always been a little bit different from other K-pop
Yeah.
groups. So I'm very intrigued by the fact that they're growing despite their differences from other K-pop
Yeah.
groups, because it could go very well for them.
I mean,
By
in
being
in
so
my
different.
mind, Dreamcatcher is one of the best K-pop groups so far.
I could
And
literally
like, and
see them become my ult.
I've only listened to a couple of things. I've only watched a couple of MVs, and like, but still, I think they're like one of the best groups.
I agree.
So it's like, I don't know, it's crazy. I am really glad we watched this because we're gonna be able to watch through all the MVs and like understand all their struggles while watching them. And I think that's good. Like, gonna bring even
more respect,
more respect, and like something different than I like.
Yes.
Like, I feel like a lot of times when you're watching K-pop groups, you kind of just like watch all their music and then you kind of like figure out like what happened afterwards. But like, I definitely think this was a good recommendation.
I
guys.
agree.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for, like on Patreon, thank you guys for convincing us to do it before the music videos, because we were very conflicted because we don't want to get that many spoilers. That's part of the reason why we're going like in order of MVs, is we really wanted to like just do it in order. In all honesty, like if I was a fan from the beginning, I wanted to watch it like that. So I don't think it was too many spoilers.
And honestly, my memory's not that good either. Like, I'm gonna forget by the time
I'm not
I
gonna
get
remember
to
anything. The only thing I know I'm gonna remember GU holding a sword. I know I'm gonna remember that. But they didn't show too much that I think the entirety of the music videos were spoiled for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that we still have a lot to see.
I'm so excited. And I'm excited for more Dreamcatcher stuff.
Same.
You guys need to make sure to sub so you guys can come along with us in that journey to watching Dreamcatcher, because we are locked in now.
Yeah, I would love to see your comments on this one for sure. Since this video is a little bit older, I kind of want to know if you guys know any updates, and also your opinions on kind of what was said in this video, because I'm curious about like if some of these things have been disproven now, or if some of them have been proven, or stuff like that. So if any of you guys have any information or even articles that you could send us, feel free to do that.
Yeah. But we're gonna head out now because I just am like
soaking
in all the information and all that. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Have a good night, daytime, whatever time it is for you, you know?
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.